Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Abkari Bewa Abdul Razak. We will be presenting about our mini project occupational safety and health implementation at industry. Our group consists of 5 members: Muhammad Abkari, Muhammad Nizam, Muhammad Akashah, Muhammad Fahmi, and Saiful Haris. Every team members have their own tasks that already been distributed. I will explain about the project, the company chosen, and the nature of the business of the company. Muhammad Fahmi will explain about Part A, identify the occupational safety and health facilities on the sites that exist or should exist. Muhammad Akashah about the type of hazard, the effect, and how to prevent this hazard from happening. Muhammad Nizam, Part C, identify the accident happened and investigation to the case happened. And Saiful Haris will explain on Part D, explain a suitable OSH management system for the company chosen and every measure made from the company to prevent unwanted accidents to happen. Our group have chosen Daikin Malaysia for our mini project. Daikin Industry is a Japanese multinational air conditioning manufacturing company headquartered in Osaka. Daikin Industry was founded in 1924 by Akira Yamada as Osaka Kinzoku Kogyoshi LP and have changed names multiple times before changing to its current name in 1982. Daikin is an innovator in the split system air conditioner market, having made the first split and multi-split air conditioners. They have over 100 production facilities around the world and sell their products in more than 150 countries. Daikin is a global leader in development and distribution of air conditioning and heating systems for residential, commercial, and industrial applications. In Malaysia, the company was founded in 1984 and based in Sungai Buloh, Selangor. They have 3 main subsidiaries in manufacturing, which is Daikin Refrigeration Malaysia, Daikin Electronic Devices Malaysia, and Daikin Steel Malaysia. Daikin Malaysia manufactures a wide range lineup of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning equipment to cater for the residential, like commercial, and industrial application for the Malaysian and global export markets. Together with Japanese technology, their products are able to attain the highest standards and quality level. Their product range from small-sized wall-mounted to 450-ton chillers, which exported to worldwide, meeting the highest efficiency levels and safety standards required by the various countries. They also provide total after-sales solution and service that suit all environment and personal preference. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fahmi bin Besar. Today, I will talk about facilities for safety and health in Daikin industry. Safety and health in Daikin. Encourage safe workplaces. Daikin implements safety countermeasures with conducting risk assessment and rectifying facilities. Daikin also working hard to avoid future accidents by deploying safety equipment on its machine in the workplace. Employees, education and training. Daikin provide training based on essential program that combine with classroom theoretical knowledge. The third one is employee health services. Daikin is offering semi-annual health examination for an employee involved in specialized employment. Next is safety equipment, fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher is to extinguish or control fire that can be utilized in emergency situation. Fire extinguisher should be installed at every sector and workstation. Second is smoke detector. Smoke detector can detect the presence of smoke as a vital indicator of a fire and alert building equipment. Smoke detector provide employees with an early notice to escape the workplaces. Emergency assemble area. Allow worker to assemble in the case of a fire or an unexpected disaster. The location must be pre-planned to avoid chaos and panic. The last one is safety signage. Safety signage to ensure the worker are alert on the potential hazard area. There are several shape and color that indicated the meaning of safety sign. Personal protective equipment or PPE. First, PPE is safety helmet that protect the head of worker from falling object that can cause fatal injury. Second is glove, protect from risk or hazard or skin contact with chemical. The third one is safety shoe that prevent from foot injuries. The last one is maintenance program. In Daikin, they apply two type of maintenance, which is preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance. The maintenance program is to be replacing crucial part in machine to make sure the machine work in good condition. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Kashabi Abdul Rahim. So I would like to present about part B, hazard and prevention for Daikin Industries. Okay. Firstly, what is hazard? Hazard is situation of sources that can potentially to cause harm to human, property and environment, and it is associated with activity that can cause undesired injury or illness. There are 5 types of hazard that I found in Daikin industry. Firstly is mechanical hazard. Secondly, ergonomic hazard. Then psychosocial hazard, electrical hazard, and lastly, chemical hazard. Mechanical hazard is hazard that caused by exposure to machinery, power operated equipment and plant. The effect of mechanical hazard is can cause scratches and sprain. How to prevent mechanical hazard? Workers should use machine that have machine safeguard, and the worker must be well trained about the machine before they use it. Next is electrical hazard. Electrical hazard is potential harmful situation is in which a worker comes into touch with energized equipment or conductor. The effect of electrical hazard is can cause electric shock, skin burn, and muscle contraction. How to prevent electrical hazard is using proper grounding process when welding. If you in welding situation, the company must train a worker about hazard, electrical hazard, so that all the worker know how they dealing with. Chemical hazard. Chemical hazard is a substance that has the potential to cause harm to life or health. The effect of chemical hazard is can cause vomiting, acid burn, cancer, and asthma. How to prevent chemical hazard is product must be labeling. Then train the worker how to use chemical product properly. And lastly, worker must use the correct PPE when handling chemical substance. Next, ergonomic hazard. So the definition of ergonomic hazard is any situation that has the potential to harm a worker's musculoskeletal system. The effect of this hazard is the body part vibration, the worker's body part vibration, and awkward posture. The prevention of this hazard is fix the workspace design and use proper equipment to lift heavy item. Lastly is psychosocial hazard. The definition of psychosocial hazard is hazard that affects an employee's mental health and well-being by interfering with their capability to perform in a healthy and safe manner. The effect of psychosocial hazard is depression and stress. And how to prevent it is for the Daikin company, they use a mental health check by industrial physician, and lastly, self-care. That is all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nizam. I'm presenting the part C, which is accident investigation and reporting for Daikin company. So, why need an investigation? The investigation is purpose to know how did the accident can happen. The second purpose is to identify the tragedy of the accident. The third purpose is to know why the accident is happened. And lastly, to analyzing the cause of accident. There is several accident cases happen in the Daikin company. First, contact with machinery. The emergency action plan is stop the operating machine by pushing the emergency button and then report the accident to the supervisor and safety officer and then call an ambulance if it causes serious injury to the victim. The first aid treatment is cover the injury parts and then take the victim to the hospital. The second cases is hit by the forklift. The emergency action plan is ask the driver to stop the forklift and then report the accident to the supervisor and safety officer for further action plan. And as the safety officer, they need to blow the whistle to alert the employees around them. The first aid treatment is move the victim to the suitable place that they equipped with oxygen and then cover the injury parts and then bring the victim to the hospital. The third cases is falling from height. The emergency action plan is prevent overcrowding towards the victim and then don't move the victim as you wish because if there is a broken parts in the body then it can cause harm to the victim health and then report the accident to the safety officer and supervisor for further action. The first aid treatment is advise the victim to remain in lying position and then place two objects on both sides of their head and do the CPR if they stop breathing. The fourth cases is being hit by a falling object. The emergency action plan is give space to the victim for better breathing and then report the accident to the safety officer and supervisor and then call an ambulance. The first aid treatment is cover the injury parts, check the condition of the victim if there is any broken body and then take the victim to the hospital. And the last accident cases that involve all employees is fire and explosion. The emergency action plan is activate the fire alarm system and then rush go to the assembly point. And then call firemen and ambulance and then check the employee if there is employee that trapped in the fire. The first aid treatment is by calm down the other employee if there is employee that shot with the fire and then treat with first aid kit if there is any burns in body employees and while waiting the firemen to come help in extinguish the small fire around them. This is a witness statement that need to do by the safety officer. The question that need to ask by the safety officer is first that witness know the victim. Second question is how the accident can happen. The third question is what did the witness do after he saw the accident? And lastly, did witness feel trauma after the accident happened? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safaris bin Ghazali and today I will talk about part D of our OSH project, which is design of the OSH management system for Daikin. So the first point that we will be talking is daily and routine of the OSH management system. The activity is daily safety briefing. So the daily safety briefing will be done daily to the employees. The objective of this briefing is to assist the supervisor on making sure his or her employee safety. So the briefing will cover about any possible hazards in the workplace and any related concerns which must be informed. So the briefing usually starts before the actual working hour or before the employees start entering the workplace. Next is implementation of safety and health policy at the workplace. So at Daikin, the policy used is a 5C policy, also known as 5 commitments. So all workers will comply to 5C policy in order to keep the workplace's safety while still maintaining the workplace productivity. So as we can see here, the 5C policy listed here is commitment to comply with OH&S legal requirement, commitment to provide safe and healthy working condition, commitment to eliminate hazard and reduce OH&S risks, commitment to include workers in OH&S consultation and participation, and commitment to continue improve OH&S management system. Next is the constant reminder of SOPs during COVID-19 pandemic. So, as we all know, we are currently facing the global pandemic. So, industries like Daikin has higher possibility to cause a pandemic cluster, which will increase the number of daily cases. So, Daikin has implemented the rule of 3C inside the workplace. So, the 3Cs are the place with higher possibility for infection to happen. So the 3C to be avoided is crowded place, close contact settings, and confined spaces. Accident investigation. So no matter how much measures has we made to ensure no accident will happen, the possibility for an accident to happen will always be there and cannot be ultimately diminished. So Daikin has always prepared for an investigation to be done in case an accident happen in the workplace, regardless of its severity. Next, we move on to the next topic, which is OSH documents. So for the quality management system, Daikin use ISO 45001 to 2018 OSH management system. So we can see the certificate here for Daikin refrigeration measures Berhad. Move on to safety awareness and training program. So at Daikin there will be an annual activity called OSH month. So this whole month is purpose to remind all workers about the importance of keeping the occupational safety and health at the highest level. So one activity at OSH month is PPE talk. So during this PPE talk, an expert will be invited to Daikin to give a talk about PPE and its importance. Is AED training. The AED training will teach workers to use the defibrillator for emergency cases in case one of their colleagues collapse and their heart stop at the workplace. The next activity is internal first aid briefing. So for this briefing, an emergency response team will be invited to handle a briefing about the equipment inside a first aid kit and how to use them. The next activity is fire prevention drill. So a firefighter team will be invited to give a drill. So the drill will be separated to two sessions, theoretical and practical session. So theoretical will be the talk about fire hazards and ways to control it. And the practical session will be about simulation. They will be doing a simulation of a small fire incident, a small simulation of fire incident, and the workers will be teach about how to extinguish it. And next is safety procedure. Fire evacuation plan is a documented plan that specifies a plan for emergency exits if there are meant to be any fire accidents that require the workplace to be evacuated. The plans as we can see, there are the plans for escape out of the workplace, and the example of signage to indicate about where to go and what to do if a fire happen inside the workplace. So after the workplace is evacuated, there will be an assembly area. So assembly area is an open area that gather all workers after evacuating the workplace. So at the assembly area, the amount of workers will be calculated so that they will be made sure that there are no men left behind. And then the compulsory law of using PPE inside the workplace. So PPE is a type of gear of equipment that is purposed to lower the amount of exposure to hazards for the people who use it. So authorities at Daikin will give and supply the workers with the best quality of PPE to the workers. The next point is indicators. There are several type of indicators. First that we can see the obvious. So the first one that we can talk about is indicator light. So the advantage of indicator light is it can easily be seen, and there are several colors of it. So different color can tell the level of severity of an accident. The emergency stop is a more direct approach. So once it is activated, it will stop the machines involved and prevent accident caused from the machine to become worse. That is all from me. Thank you.